KHZTV.com.
Hey, it's your girl Tracy Hart here, broadcasting live with KHZTV.com. Now, I am so excited because I have a very good dear friend of mine in the studio with me today, Paul Mittermeier, who is the Director of Communications for the Ed Block Courage Award Foundation. Paul, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Tracy, thanks so much for having me, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So now let's talk about the fact that there's a lot of people out there who maybe are not familiar with what the Ed Block Courage Award is. What is the foundation about, and what does it go to help?
Okay, our mission is raising awareness and prevention of child abuse and helping abused and at-risk children. We have 23 Courage Houses across the United States that are affiliated with NFL teams. We're partnered with the NFL and PFATS, which is the Professional Football Athletic Trainers Society. And what we do is we have each NFL team vote one player from their team that shows courage on or off the field. And then each year, all 32 of those players come into Baltimore. We have a gala, and they go out and do community things in Baltimore to help the children of Baltimore. And it's a great weekend. It's a great event. It's named after Ed Block, who was the athletic trainer for the Baltimore Colts back in the 60s and 70s. He was there with the Colts with Johnny Unitas, Lenny Moore. Lenny Moore will be at our gala on Monday night. And then when the Colts left Baltimore, the athletic trainers around the NFL stepped up, and this became a national award. And since 1984, we've been doing this nationally. And bringing the guys in to Baltimore. It's a real neat experience because it's not just about the gala itself on Monday, but they'll go and visit the children at the St. Vincent's Villa, which is the Baltimore Ravens Courage House. They'll spend time with them on Sunday, and then we do an outreach down at the Webb Rec Center in Baltimore City with at-risk kids down there. Tommy Polly and Keon Carpenter, who are former NFL players, created that rec center down there with Tracy Estep from Baltimore City, who's just fabulous. And we'll spend time with those kids down there on Monday. The mayor of Baltimore will be there, and then they'll spend 2 or 3 hours with those kids on Monday as well. Good stuff.
Well, and I can't even imagine the kids, obviously, that are at Webb, their lives are harder. They're hard. And then all of a sudden you have, all these NFL players from around the nation coming in to hang out with them. I can't even imagine the joy in these kids' eyes when they walk in.
Part of what we do is about hope and inspiration. And I think no player exemplifies that more than Brian Dawkins, who played for the Eagles and the Broncos, was one of the recipients a few years ago. Brian Dawkins grew up in a similar fashion to what those kids at the Webb Rec Center grow up in. Whereas you could very easily be an NFL player, go to college, you could very easily end up on the streets selling drugs or whatever. So for those kids to see Brian Dawkins, and then he's there's 20 kids surrounding him while he's talking to them. For them to see a guy that had a similar upbringing and to see what he was able to accomplish and that it can be done, I think that gives hope to people and gives hope to kids. And I think that's really the message that we're trying to send.
Well, it absolutely is. Now, we need to talk about these players. Now, these players are nominated by their own teammates. So first of all, that's a huge honor in itself. And they're nominated because of their work with their community.
Right.
And so these players, these are top-notch players. Maybe they're not number one, on their team, but they're number one when it comes to giving back to the community.
They get it. And I think that's the most important thing. The thing to realize is that it's voted on by it's the only award left in the NFL that's still voted on exclusively by teammates. I think the players respect that. I think the players understand, and the athletic trainers do a good job of explaining to them that this is something to be taken seriously. So when they vote, they do that. And I think the community aspect of it is huge. Obviously, there's always different stories. We have some amazing stories this year. David Quesenberry, who's battling cancer, went through chemo, has gone through his radiation, is coming out the other side now. Mark Herzlich, who's beat cancer. And the great thing about Mark Herzlich from the New York Giants is that he just not only beat cancer, but he's an inspiration to others as well. He makes it a point to go out and help others beat cancer as well. And I think that's that's an important message to send as well. So obviously Devin Still, whose daughter Leah, that's been well publicized in the NFL, he was the recipient from the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm so excited about this year. I think we have a lot of good things going on.
Well, and name some of the other players. I know some of the I know my Baltimore Ravens people are not going to be too happy to hear this, but we do have a pretty big name coming from the Patriots.
Well, Rob Gronkowski is in from New England, of course. By the way, Rob's a great guy. I know people see all the pictures of him partying and all, but I've talked to the guys in New England. He does so much in the community up there that people don't see. I'm really excited for him coming down. Lardarius Webb is going to be the Baltimore Ravens recipient.
Absolutely.
He will be there. And Calvin Johnson from the Detroit Lions. Travis Kelce from the Kansas City Chiefs. Greg Olsen from the Carolina Panthers. Greg Jennings from the Minnesota Vikings. Just an amazing list. I was just talking to somebody else. I think I've been there 8 years, and I've seen some of the classes of recipients from the past. This could be, when you talk about star power, this could be one of the best of all time.
Well, it's going to be interesting. So for the award, what is it that the foundation looks for? So you have these wonderful NFL players. How do you choose one to receive the award?
Well, I think what we stress is courage, obviously showing courage. It could be on the field, it could be off the field, could be coming back from an injury. Just from some examples, obviously. Quisenberry and Herzlich, obviously, with their battles with cancer off the field. But even a guy like Greg Jennings won from Minnesota because he's a team leader and he does amazing things in the community. Dwayne Allen from the Indianapolis Colts was a recipient because he does amazing things in the community. And I think that's the key. What are you willing to do? And showing courage sometimes is taking the ability, look, I'm going to volunteer my time to do well for others and help others. I think that's a key too. But yeah, it's on or off the field, showing courage. And I'll be totally honest. Sometimes it comes down to a guy that maybe made a mistake in his past, but was able to overcome that and become a good person, and not become a good person, but choose the right path. And I think teammates recognize those types of guys too.
Well, and so we have the NFL players, but there's also some special guests that are going to be there as well at the event.
Absolutely.
We were talking about the high school. This year you guys did a little bit something different with the local high schools.
Yeah, Fred Dixon, who we honored last year, is a cancer survivor. He came with a great idea. He said, let's go around to all the counties and the city in Maryland and in Baltimore City, and let's give certificates to, let's just send it out there. If you're a student or as a student athlete out there that lost their season because of injury, the foundation is going to send a certificate out. Hey, sorry that you lost your season. Keep your head up. Keep your spirits up. Hopefully you'll be back next year. We did that. We got a great response from around the different jurisdictions. And in the process of that, we learned a couple of amazing stories. One was Ashan Toure, who is a young man from Hammond High School who lost his leg because of a medical complication last year, was fitted with a prosthetic, and then was able to come back this year and be a part of the Hammond boys basketball team. And I thought that was an amazing story. He's going to be there at the gala. We're going to recognize him there. And, of course, I don't know, Baltimore people familiar with the story of Michael Gardner, who was a manager on one of the teams in the city. They actually put him in uniform, put him on the field, and allowed him to score a touchdown this year on the field, which was an amazing thing. He's a amputee as well. Gave him that opportunity. And he'll be at the gala as well.
Well, and again, there are still tickets available for the gala?
That's right. We have a few left. I think we have about maybe 2 or 3 tables left to sell. If you're interested in being a part of this, missiontix.com. We pop right up there on the first banner when you go to missiontix.com, or you can hit us up on edblock.org and purchase your tickets.
Okay, so for people out there who are, again, interested in either getting information about the gala and attending that, or just information in general about EdBlock, what does it mean, the background, the foundation, how they can help and stuff, how do they go about getting that information?
Yeah, edblock.org has all our information right there on the website, and you can go right there.
Well, I thank you so much for coming in here. It has been a real pleasure. Again, folks, this is an amazing organization. Again, they're helping children, as Paul had said, to inspire, to give hope, to give, to show them that there is a future out there and that they can be anything they want to be. So this is such a wonderful organization that is geared towards children. And then, again, it goes to representing and showing that these NFL players, that they are those out there that really give back to the community and have a good story to tell. So, Paul, thank you so much for being here. here and talking with us and sharing the information.
Tracy, anytime. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, folks. Again, if you want more information about the Ed Block Courage Foundation or the award or the event, go to edblock.org, and there are still tickets available. I am looking forward to hanging out with you, Paul, there, and it's going to be a wonderful event, again, going to a wonderful cause. Again, I'm Tracy Hart, and I've been speaking with Paul Mittermeier, who is the Director of Communications for the Ed Block Courage Award Foundation.